Hello.
Hello. Today we're doing a talk about moving beyond judgment of right, wrong, and good and bad. And this is actually a teaching that takes a tremendous amount of inner development, and we practice it slowly over time. And a good beginning practice is to try to fake it till you make it, which in this case has some positive applications because you can get down into a dark spiral if you don't try to withhold the letting your mind go into judgments of right, wrong, good, or bad, but to actually fully integrate that teaching and have everything dismantled inside of you. To do that, it's actually a very advanced teaching to actually live from that perceptual state and respond to everything in the world from that perceptual state. It takes a great deal of work, but it's important to catch yourself and try to stop that habit and at least put an attempt in, even if you haven't done the deeper underlying transformation. So we're going to talk about that energy today. There's a really great story that one of our beloved teachers is shared about his response to somebody. Do you want to tell
Yeah,
that?
it's a famous story, I think, because it's in a movie about this particular teacher. And he was working with a guy, I think he was an actor maybe in Hollywood, but the guy was starting to go to the community and he asked, he asked the master, he said, I want to, keep going and I want to, join the community, but I like to drink. And the master said, okay, you can keep drinking, it's fine. And he goes, and I like to smoke. And he goes, sure, you can keep smoking, no problem. And he goes, I like to, fornicate with the women. And the master goes, sure, okay, no problem. And he says, if you come here regularly and you do the practices that we're talking about, he's like, you might still be doing all that stuff, but slowly you will probably not want to do that anymore.
He said, I can't promise you.
Oh, yeah.
Once you practice the teachings,
Yeah.
I can't promise you that you're going to continue to desire those things.
Yeah. So anyway,
That's the basis of our talk today.
yeah. So you won't. So it's not to. You don't want to shame yourself when we're talking about good, bad, right, or wrong. You don't want to shame yourself. But if you start doing the practices, just by doing that, you're going to just naturally move towards a more loving, higher vibration way of living in the world. And a lot of that stuff will just drop away. You don't have to even pay attention to it anymore.
So a lot of resistance comes up around this because in this example, this movie actor was really tired of dogmatic religions and the Judeo-Christian background of this country we live in, making judgments about sinners. And so he was very resistant to practice a new path. But I think this was from Paramahansa Yogananda was the one who told him, I can't promise you you'll want to do these things. And we were thinking about that because in the past, throughout our work for many years, and very much so recently, there's been a misunderstanding that pops up from time to time. Because we occasionally are told that people need to stop drinking when we're tracking somebody or when the divine delivers a message as a gift to somebody.
Oh yeah, we're definitely shown different things that somebody needs to change because it's harming them. So we're shown that stuff.
So we didn't know in the most recent instance that anybody was drinking. We actually had no knowledge of that. What the divine tells us we have zero opinion about. We just repeat what we're told to repeat because that message is for the person. We have no opinion, no judgment. We do not think the people are wrong, and it would never change our love or opinion of them to learn that this was happening. But a lot of the trigger and resistance around these conversations about looking at some of these actions is because people have been told that they're immoral, and there's actually no such thing. There is no judgment of immorality from the divine. The divine we want to reframe that into what Yogananda was talking about. I can't promise you'll still desire those things. So we want to explain what he's saying here. When we are in the society that we're in, and we have in Western culture this mythic teaching that we're separated and that there's something missing inside of us, and that is passed down ancestrally and through our culture and through every institution, we can walk through the world feeling this longing for that feeling. And sometimes that's through pleasure, and people saying, I want to reject that sin teaching, so hedonism and pleasure, like this man who wanted to have many, many women in his life, this is freedom for me. I am creating the feeling of pleasure inside of me, and this is bringing me a way to reject all that dogmatic teaching.
It's a type of rebellion. You're rebelling against the system that you felt oppressed you as a young person.
And I think also somebody like this example of this man is coming from, well, my parents were fighting all the time and they were codependent, so I'm free because I have all these women in my life. And the truth is that beneath the surface, he's actually got quadruple or beyond that, like infinitely, depending on how much he's seeking from outside. When you're seeking from outside, your codependency is actually multiplied by every external thing that is being used to try to fill that sense of emptiness. So you're not breaking free from codependency, and you're not breaking free from inner judgment at all. You're actually making it exponential. So
you're feeding it.
And it multiplies the sense of emptiness inside and aloneness when you do that, and you get on this feedback loop that's like a dark pit. And so I think a lot of people that are seeking that pleasure are actually, what Yogananda is saying is they're seeking an internal experience, not an external high. What he's saying is that once you experience the nectar of that core of divine love that is your true nature, and you have a direct interaction with that internally, it is so beyond anything in this reality, and it actually helps you understand and eventually walk in this reality, seeing that as well way later down the path. But once you have it internally, the exquisiteness and the exaltation of that love that isn't coming from another person or pleasure or hedonism or a drug or alcohol, but is actually experienced as your own being from the core, it is so exalted that it is a drunkenness. And they joke about this in the tradition. Get drunk on the divine love that is the core of your being. Why should you be kept from that experience? It is so exquisite, and it is there with you 100% of the time, that everything else pales in comparison, and you stop seeking to be filled externally. But you have to do some practices in order to develop that relationship. And really, nobody can give you that because it's already what you are, but you have to desire it. If you desire it, that seed of light will grow because that desire will never go away. Even just desiring it and recognizing that for some strange reason you're not feeling it is going to guide and create that germination of that seed, just the recognition and awareness of that. So once you have that nectar of divine love, everything else changes. Your whole landscape of your reality changes. So that's not a morality issue. That's an incredible treasure, an opportunity that's waiting for a being to nourish themselves on what is the truth of their own being.
I'll add to it too, because when we went and visited a bhakti community, they had a lot of rules, and ashrams are known for having a lot of rules, and those rules are meant to help a community get along and treat each other respectfully without allowing everyone's negative habits and bad behavior to be puked up on everyone else around. So those rules are necessary because before we've disciplined ourselves, we have to impose external discipline to start getting us in line and behaving properly. And so the rules are necessary. And every spiritual tradition, there's deep practices that require a lot of discipline to help you get control of your mind. It's spirit is in charge, but in our culture, we allow our ego and our addictions to be in charge. So spiritual practices require us to allow spirit to control our thoughts and movements and actions, and so we have to impose an internal discipline on ourselves. So even in our culture, we so celebrate the thrill of external experiences as a way to seek a high and to feel good about things, that when you start to really look at yourself, you have to identify that I am seeking something outside of myself to bring about a feeling of goodness, a feeling of worth, a sense of high, a sense
worthiness, big time.
And what we're saying is that that's never going to be satisfied. And every spiritual tradition we practice and look at says the same thing, that what you're actually looking for is something inside that is available to you inside with an internal relationship with spirit. And you don't need to seek outside for it. It's just that our society is so focused on that, it's very difficult to get away from it.
It's not that you're immoral.
No.
It's that these divine practices are saying, if you're codependent on something external, you're a slave. And you should be free.
Yeah, you should free yourself.
Because the exquisite bliss that is your true nature is the greatest nectar you could ever have. It doesn't have to come out from outside of you. Your codependency and your enslavement is multiplied when it comes from outside of you. So
you can really, as a simple practice, just speak to the divine.
This is not morality. It's beyond morality.
Speak to the divine, and if your desire is to move forward spiritually and to experience your true nature as love and peace, then you just simply offer to the divine to be shown what behaviors, what addictive or what seeking behaviors you have that are going on in the outside world that are actually detrimental to you and distractions. So you just go, I want to see what my distraction is. You kind of do them one at a time. This process takes a while, and you just keep asking, well, what's next? What do I need to look at next that's in the way of me having a deeper, more fulfilled experience
and talking
of the divine?
Talking to the divine every day and saying, I want to experience my true nature as divine love.
And this is why you can go back and look at the devotion video. But this is why we speak about devotion. It's because your devotion to your internal divine connection is the most important thing, to be feeding that. And that will eventually replace everything else. Is that good? I think we covered it. I hope that encourages you.
And it's such an incredible nectar and treasure that we share this because we know it flows freely to every being, and we think everybody deserves to have that experience. And it does make a very simple change happen inside of you, simple but profound, where nothing else will ever compare to that feeling.
And then you can then that feeling gets
mirrored
back into your life by having beautiful people come into your life to reflect that love.
Every aspect of life comes from that core center. We only have one goal here, and that's it. And if we do that, everything falls into place from that core. And that core experience, when you do that, it interacts and communicates with you from an omniscient wisdom that is far beyond our own distortions of the mind, and it guides you and it helps you to strengthen that.
So for those of you who have worked with us and we've given messages about things that need to be looked at and overcome and healed,
please know it's not our opinion.
It's not our opinion. This is what the light is telling you as a soul,
as a treasure
to look
waiting
at,
for you,
so that you can grow the internal light of divine bliss inside of you. And that's all that matters. And so the mind, the intellect, the ego comes to try to stop you, and that's fine. That's part of the process. But the best thing to do is just to realize that it's going to do that. The mind and the intellect will lie to you, and that your focus on devotion to experience the internal truth of your own love is the only thing that you need to focus on, and you just let everything else drop away.
Just keep strengthening that one thing, and life will make much more sense.
That's right. Okay. Blessings to you guys all. Thanks for watching. We'll
Blessings.
talk again soon. Bye-bye.